Hello everybody, I'm recording over here the answer for question 10 of your exam, the review exam. I passed it in the Blackboard for you to review. I have students send me an email asking me how to solve this using the calculator. You can use the calculator, you don't have to use Excel, but I like to use Excel and you will see why, because I can fill. And this is the advantage of using Excel, over the calculator. So you notice that we're gonna start this with I'm gonna do a table, age of actress. So I want the age of the actress, and from my data I know that I have 82 actresses, but I don't know exactly what are their age. But I know that they are on the class, in a class which the age range will be from 2. So the age of actress will have lower boundary and upper boundary for the class of the class. Age of actress I can write over here in classes. Okay. So this is the upper bound, this is the lower bound of each class. So you notice again, here is the graph. So I'm going to use the data from this histogram. Notice that this histogram is right tail or positively skewed. Why it's positively skewed or right tailed? Always how you call this depending on the tail. Look, it is right tailed. It means that the data is concentrated on the left side. Most of your data concentrated on the left side. And it's skewed right because you have a couple of the actresses over here are, their age is really higher than most of the rest. So they polluted your mean. So your mean is on the right of the median over here. Okay. Anyway, so answering this question 9, it says identify the shade of the histogram. Is it normal, uniform, skewed right, skewed left? It is skewed right. Okay, how many actresses won the Oscar when they were younger than 50 years old? When they are younger than 50 years old, so you have to add the frequency for younger than 50. So you will have 27 plus here. Let me write it for you so you can see it. So you want to find this. So it's a 27 plus. You see, I use Excel as a calculator as well. 27 plus 34 plus 13, right? 27 plus 34 plus 13 plus 34 plus 13, and you have 74. So the answer for this equation, the second one, is 74 actresses less than 50 years old. What is the midpoint of the class of actors between age and 30 and 39? And this is what I'm gonna do now in Excel, so just hold on for a second for this. Now, what percent of the actors have an age more than 39 years old when they won the Oscar? So they're saying what is the percent of actors have an age more than 39. Okay, so over here it is concentrating about the age of more than 39. So more than 39, I have 13 plus 2, which is 15, plus 4, which is 19, plus 1 is 20, 21. So I have a 21 actress more than 39. But what is the percentage? So the percentage is 21. How many we said? I think we said 21. 21, so we have 15, 19, 22, 21 out of the whole actresses, which is 82. And this is going to give you the percentage. Multiply by 100. And it's a 25.61%. Okay. So this answering the first questions, I just didn't answer the question says because I want to use it in the next as well. He says, what is the midpoint of the class actress between age of 30 and 39? So he's saying, what is the middle number here between 30 and 39? So the middle number always is the lower limit plus the upper limit of the class divided over 2. And you see it's 34.5. This is very important for the next equation calculation. Okay, so let's go to the next equation, which is the goal of this whole video. So you notice here he wants the age of the actress. So the age of the actress, the exact one, I don't know, but I know the classes. So let's put the classes in over here. So using that, so I'll put here from 20 to, so I'll start from 20, and the upper bound it will go to 29. Then the next one will be 30, and this one is 39. So you notice that the class width vertically, if you go vertically, it's 10. So that's what we call a class width. It's a vertical. Class width, always remember, it's a vertical, it's not horizontal. So the class width over here is 10, so I'm going to add 10 all the time. So instead of writing it manually 30, 40, 50, I just can do this. I can say, okay, 20 plus 10, so it is 30. So we will tell Excel to fill this till 80, okay? So I don't want the 90, just to till 80. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And I'll do the same thing over here for the upper limit, because the class width again is 10. So I don't want to write it 29 because I want to refer to it. I want to refer to 29 so I can fill it up. So what this formula does, it gets the cell before, then add 10 to it. So now I can fill it. So I have 80 to 89. Let me put for you the word so you can see it. So you see how many I got over here. Then now I want the frequency, so I will write the frequency for each one of them. So I will write it here, frequency. I will leave just I will just leave a column because I want to write the midpoint here in the column. Then I will write frequency here. So the frequency is from the table he gave it to you. So the table of he gave it to you over here, the histogram, I mean, he gave it to you. So the frequency over here is a 27 on the first one, the first class, 34 in the second class, 13 in the third class, 2 on the fourth class, 4 in the fifth class, 1 on the sixth class, and 1 on the seventh class. So there is just one lady actress between 80 and 89, and so forth. Okay, let me just center this so they look really nice. And let me make this adjust. So double click here. Okay. So now the midpoint, as we said, it's always the lower bound plus the upper bound. Okay. There is a problem over here if you just write it over here, divided over 2. If you write it like this, you will have a big problem. You will see in a second, and it gives you 34.5. Which is not correct. It's obviously not in the middle of 20 and 29. So what went wrong? We want these two first. So we want the top to be calculated first, then divided over 2. So we want to add them up first. Then after we get the answer, that's why I put parentheses, then divide over 2. So now the middle between 20 and 29, you can see obviously is 24.5. Then that's why I'm using Excel over here, because it's easy to calculate and fill up. So if I fill it up here, look what will happen. It will move it to the next upper lower boundary, and it will give you the middle, and you can keep going here, filling up to the end. So why I need all this? I'm doing all this work because I don't have the original data. Remember, if I have the original data, to find the average of this data, I will just write in the Excel command average and pick up the original data. But I don't have the original data over here. That is the problem. So I want to find the average. So to find the average, you need to multiply frequency by the midpoint. So the frequency, and that's what I wrote on the table, frequency, Fi, multiplied by the midpoint, Mi. So the Fi multiplied by the Mi. And that's what I wrote in the table over here, if you notice. I wrote for you what is the Fi multiplied by Mi, which is the frequency by the midpoint. And simply, this is really easy to do because you have the frequency, then you multiply it by the midpoint, and the midpoint is over here, and that's it. You just fill up for the whole cells over here, the whole rows over here, the whole classes. So you have 7 classes, so I filled it up. Now to find the average, so what I want the total now. So let me find the total of this. Let me write this over here because I need the total for frequency as well. So total. So I want to sum up this. I want to sum the column over here. I want to sum this column of the frequency. And I want to sum this column as well, this one over here. So I can type sum this, but if I fill it up from left to right, it will do it automatically for me. Look, that's why I double check always by double clicking on the cell, and it will open with the color so I can see what he highlighted. Okay, now the average is very simple. The average is equal to the sum of FIM, the frequency, multiplied by the middle point of the class divided over the sum of the frequency. So this is my average. This is my average for this data over here. Remember, now I don't want you to memorize the formula. The formula, I will give it to you. Tell me, how did you find the average is the frequency multiplied middle summation over the frequency. It is in the formula card. It is really in the formula card you will have in the exams. Every exam you can use. Okay, now the only thing left is to calculate the variance. And to calculate the variance, that's why in the table, if you see, I give you mi square and FIMI square. So I need to calculate these. So I'll write them over here, which is mi square. Then we need Fi multiplied by mi square. Okay. So let me just write this between parentheses so you don't get confused. Mi square. So I want to square the mi, then multiply it by the frequency. Mi is the middle point, if you remember. So I want to find the square of this and find the square of this. It's very easy. You just put the midpoint, you click the midpoint, then you put the hat, which is the shift 6 for the hat, which is to the power 2, which is the square of 24.5. And this is the answer. And that's why I like Excel over here, because I can fill for the rest. Once you do one, it's all the same. Now the second row, you want the frequency. So be careful, where's the frequency? The frequency is the 27 multiplied by the mi square. Mi square is the 600.25. I just calculated and enter. Now I just can fill. So I'm gonna fill up this. Okay. So if you click any one of them just to make sure, notice that he got the D8 multiplied by F8, which is the square. And that's correct. That's what I want. Now I want to sum them. So the total I will bring here horizontally, fill up. So it will fill up. Look, it filled up these, sum, then it summed these, the column G. Okay. Now what is the variance? There is a definition in the book. They say for the calculation, you just need to find the summation of FIMI square, which is this one. So I need that. Then subtract from it. Then I open parentheses and I want to subtract from it the summation of FIMI square, which is, I think the mistake over here. They want the summation of FIMI. There's FIMI square, that is correct. Then minus, then parentheses, then I want the summation of FIMI square, which is this one, FIMI, this one, then I want to square it, then I want to square it, then I want to divide it, square it, hat 2, then I want to divide it over n, the frequency over here. So first of all, I want to square, then divide, then subtract that from G11. If you think this is not going to happen, it's going to happen because order of operations says the power, then the division, but I'll put it between parentheses to show you. Then now, after finishing this, I want to divide over n. So divide over the frequency again after subtraction. So on the top, I have to make sure this is all between parentheses. So this is all the top. Notice that how Excel give you color. So this is the top. Now I want to divide over the frequency, which is this. So now it will give me the answer for it. Now I don't want the variance, I want the standard deviation. So standard deviation is basically the square root of the answer I got. So this is equal to square root, this is the square root of this answer. So the deviation, one standard deviation to the right. So the middle age, so the average age, the mean age for the actress is 35.84, so almost 36 years old. Then they will go to the right 12, to the left 12, plus 12 minus 12 will give you one standard deviation.